Hello, my viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. New subscribers, welcome. Returning subscribers, welcome back. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has started the campaign for Jamaica's Republic. I'll let you hear some of what he said. And I don't think I remember seeing the Prime Minister on a morning TV program. If you guys have seen it, tell me in the comments, but I've never seen the Prime Minister on these sort of platforms where he's speaking to the Jamaican people. Hence, I'm calling it a campaign for our republic. But you will hear the things that he says and, just have a listen and I'll come back and talk to you.
It's a great time to be here with this new effervescent set of hosts that CVM has brought on, which I hear is doing an amazing job of bringing back viewership to morning television.
The right person is in your ear then. You've heard right.
So guys, let's be a body language expert here for a moment. I want you to look at the way the Prime Minister presented himself on CVM at sunrise. What he wore, he was appropriately dressed, the right color, he has his confidence on, his mannerism. He's congratulating the host and on the new set and CVM and kind of making folks feel comfortable, right? So, make we hear what go on here so now.
Place of Prime Minister's journey from where he started in St. Catherine to even the Minister of Education and where you stand now. Walk us through that.
So I was born at the Spanish Town Hospital.
Yeah.
So it was, for me, an immense sense of pride to be able to announce that we are going to do major upgrade work to the Spanish Town Hospital. Spanish Town is a place that's very near and dear to my heart. But over the decades, many, many decades, it is the old capital that we have not invested in. And it is truly in a state where greater investment is needed. So I'm from Spanish Town.
Yeah.
And I will be paying greater attention to ensuring that there is investment in Spanish Town. So far we have two major investment projects in Spanish Town. One is water and one is in health. I went to St. Catherine High School. I owe so much to that school. I went to Spanish Town Primary before, and I owe so much to them as well. But to St. Catherine High School, that's where my formative years were. My teachers were excellent. I lived on Cumberland Road, which is just near to the Grassyard Market. I attended the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And then I lived in Ensom City. It's a newly developed scheme. That was a wonderful time in my life. Met many great friends. It was what you would call an aspirational community. The people who lived there were all trying to pursue, if you want to call it, the middle-class dream, owning your home, getting your children into high school and university. It was quite aspirational. I grew up in the period of the 80s. So that helped to form my political outlook. And then from there, went on to the University of the West Indies. I taught for a year after doing my A-levels. I taught for a year at St. Catherine High School. And then I went on to the University of the...
So as you can hear, he's reintroducing himself to the Jamaican people, talking about his upbringing.
Experience. You could say I lived the Jamaican experience.
Yes.
And I don't consider myself coming from a rich background. I came from humble beginnings, humble circumstances, single-parent household, myself and my sister and my mother, and put it to you this way, the struggle was real. I don't use that, however, as an excuse. I tend to want to say to people, embrace your struggles.
Yes.
So as you can hear, he's basically talking about his socioeconomic status growing up. And most importantly, I do not like to hear when people become successful and you hear them going out there talking about their poverty story or their struggle story. I don't like to hear that because then you start to sound like you were a victim of your circumstance and you escaped. That's not a good way to tell one story. And I admire the way that he expressed that. Even though I'm saying come from struggle and single parent and rare, he's saying, hey, I'm not going to use that to be a victim or to make an excuse.
Whatever is thrown at you in life, it is to make you stronger. Don't run away from it. embrace it. I'm getting a sense that some people don't like struggle. There's a sense that life should just be easy. Life should be commoditized, and you can just simply take out one block, put in another, and it should almost be a sense of entitlement. My struggle, my history is that is not it. And you have to really put out the effort, and there is no success without sacrifice.
Prime Minister, you come to us this morning at a time when there is, among people who are interested in these matters, a great deal of frustration with the constitutional reform process. I put it at the back burner of my mind because I've been excited about it in the past and been disappointed. I'm disappointed again because of where we are. Why are we here again where the constitutional reform process has been stalled?
So here's the big question, guys. This is why he came. Hear what he has to say.
Well, in the 90s, quite a bit of work was done on constitutional reform. There was a committee of parliament that did a report, and it was quite good work. When we were about to celebrate our 60th year of independence, I paid close attention to calls coming from various quarters, including past leaders of the country.
He's talking about former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson. He publicly stated in 2022 that the opposition leader and the Prime Minister of the country must come together, find consensus on Jamaica's republic. So that's who he's talking about, P.J. Patterson.
That it would be an excellent opportunity for Jamaica to contemplate becoming a republic. It seized my mind as something that was important, and I too felt that at 60, it is time that we seek to become a republic and truly define our independence, move our independence into another form of it. Now, to do that, it was not a straight line. It was not a simple activity, and we considered it very carefully. We thought about the work that was done before, and we recognized that it was dated. It was done at a different period of time. An entire new generation would have emerged since then, and their views ought to be considered.
Yes.
And therefore, our approach to it is that we should not just abandon the work that was done to start all over, but to put in place a committee that would review the work. My understanding of statements made by the leader of the opposition and in letters written to the Minister of Constitutional Affairs is their initial position was that we should just go ahead because they also agree that it is time that Jamaica became a republic. We thought it better to have a process of review because we needed to have taken into account the views of a new generation that has emerged. And Jamaica has become such a diverse country with many, many views. So the nature of our democracy is that we would have to include those views. The opposition, having said go ahead, then they did not want to name members to the review commission. We sorted that out. We had a Vale Royal talk where we explained what the process is. They raised the issue of what would be Jamaica's final court. And we said, look, the process that we're putting in place is a multi-phased process that will deal with all the issues of our Constitution. The first phase of it is that we deal with the one in which we have agreement. So in other words, the frustration that you're feeling could be avoided, like many people in your generation, my generation would feel, if we were making positive steps. So step by step, we could achieve the notion of full and complete independence. After that Vale Royal talk, and after we explained that there is a multi-phased approach, the opposition agreed, and we proceeded. When we proceeded on good faith, that we would be able to do what we agreed on now, and then we move on to the other matter of the CCJ. And our position on the CCJ has been very clear. I established that position in 2015, thereabout, when I explained that from our political perspective, from our party, we believe that if there's going to be any change in our final court, that this is a fundamental change to the architecture of the country, the governance and political architecture of the country. And therefore, this is a matter that should at least benefit from an indicative referendum. And it is one of the, we had spoken about as part of a kind of grand referendum, so that people could have a say, because what we have been picking up from our soundings and our research, and even during the period of consultation for the CRC, the Constitutional Reform Committee's work, that it is not a position where it is settled. It is not a settled position.
Or what the Andrew Holness position is.
Right. So
clarify that.
So I'm glad you have raised that, because we have said it on many occasions. Our position is that a final court should be a Jamaican final court. However, whatever ends up being the final court should go through this process of an indicative referendum. The people should have a say on it. That's number one for us. People should have a say. And secondly, if we are having a final court to be repatriated, it shouldn't go to Port of Spain, it should come to Kingston. That has been our position. Now, on the matter of the final court, because we are saying to the people of Jamaica, we also want to hear your view on it. It may very well turn out that the view of the public is that it should be the CCJ.
Right.
So what we don't want to do is to go to the situation in prescribing to the people of Jamaica.
So
this is what it is.
So you have a position, but it's not a hardline position.
No, our position is, first and foremost, let the people decide it. Right? What we would like to see is this, but really, the people should decide it. What the PNP is saying is, don't ask the people anything. Just go to the CCJ. Now, let's be fair. There are many people in Jamaica who have not expressed their view on the CCJ.
Correct.
And are very silent about it, because there is a view that is carried by persons who are authoritative in the society. But quietly, there are those.
So guys, if you follow this channel, you would know that that's been our position over here from the beginning. We do not believe that Andrew Holness or Mark Golding should be the sole deciders. Them and the parliament should be the ones to decide our final court. We have discussed here that there should be a referendum where our final court is concerned, since that is the issue for the opposition. As you guys know, the opposition, as the Prime Minister said, appointed people to the committee to participate in this change to make our country a republic. So their issue, actually Mark Golding's issue, this is not the opposition's issue, but Mark Golding's issue, is that he told the members on the committee from the PNP that they should not sign anything unless the Prime Minister decides or join Mark Golding in deciding that the final court for Jamaica should be the CCJ. Now, the Prime Minister and the government's approach, which is to let there be a referendum, I think it's the right way to go. You cannot be making such an important decision and leaving out the people, right? I mean, I know that we have a history in Jamaica where, the people don't really get to have a say unless there is a general or local government election. I don't think it should be so. I don't even know if some of these members of parliament go back to them constituents when they have to make important decisions in the parliament to ask them how they feel about it or what position the member should take, member of parliament should take, And I think doing a referendum where our final court is concerned, guys, I think that will kind of set a new precedent in Jamaica, where it will say to the country and our people and those who are looking on, that our people's voices matter. We care what our people think. You know, why wouldn't you want to include your people in this decision? Well, Mark Golding thinks that it is divisive. He has been pushing this narrative in Jamaica as far back as 2015. At one point, the PNP even changed their stance and said, we are okay with a referendum where our final court is concerned, which is the CCJ, is what they discussed. But Mark Golding, even during that time when the party took that position, he said, as Justice Minister, that no, we should not have a referendum. We should not give the people a voice because that's going to be too divisive. It's going to be too this and too that. And I don't believe in that. I think the people should have a voice. No. Mark Golding, it is being alleged that the reason for his position, his firm stance against Jamaica proceeding with, the consensus between everybody on the committee is that he just realized, it just hit him that, hey, if we become a republic, I'm going to have to give up this British citizenship. Yeah. And if you go look, guys, at the process of renouncing your British citizenship, you have to apply for it. And there's a fee that you must pay. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be granted if you go look at the process. So if you are granted, you get a certificate which says that you renounced. And you can even go back and reapply later if you decide to get back your British citizenship. As you guys know, Mark Golding held a UK passport, which means he had to be a citizen. But he will not admit that to the Jamaican people. I don't know why. I find that to be very deceptive, right? In fact, part of the interview this morning on CVM at Sunrise, the discussion about Mark Golding's citizenship was had. The Prime Minister was asked the question about dual citizenship and all these things in our politics. And I don't want to misquote him, so I'm not going to quote him. But he alluded to, it doesn't matter to me if you have dual citizenship, but when you want to lead the country, then is a different argument we're talking. Only can go look pan it over CVM, my love, but because we're going to talk about it on this program, our nightly broadcast tonight. But, he did not take a hard line where he said absolutely no dual citizenship. He was very cautious. And I agree that if you want to lead Jamaica or any country, you must be a citizen of that country only at that time. I also believe that if you want to sit in the parliament, you want to be a senator, you want to be that kind of representative in Jamaica, I don't think you should have dual citizenship. I don't believe so. Here in America, you can't do that. There are people in the country who pledge allegiance to that country only. Why is it that those people should be casted aside for people who have dual citizenship? I don't believe in that no time. Me feel say the people who supposed to be in the parliament serving and who want to lead the country, they must have citizenship of one country and one country only, and that is Jamaica. Now, if you come with your dual citizenship and you want to lead the country or serving at the parliament and be a senator, you should have to renounce. Yes, you should have to renounce. That shows that, you are loyal only to the country that you want to serve. And if you have a problem giving up that other citizenship, then we cannot trust you. And that is the situation that Mark Golding faces. He will not admit. It cannot be that he doesn't know that he's a British citizen. He knows. He knows all right. But he doesn't want to admit it, right? And I would even go a little further to say to the government and even to Andrew Holness them, don't be shy to come out and discuss this publicly. Anybody who is seeking to lead Jamaica, yes, anybody who is seeking to lead our wonderful island of Jamaica, they must be fully Jamaican by citizenship and by birth. Only Jamaica. What is your purpose of wanting to hold citizenship to another country while you are pledging loyalty and wanting to serve another country? It just does not sit well with me. Anyway, guys, let me know what you all think about how the Prime Minister presented himself on the morning show. I want to know if you guys think that not just the Prime Minister, but the various members of Parliament, and leaders of the country, do you think that they should be hosted on these television programs where, majority of the country are tuning into? When I saw this morning, I felt good about it because I said, you know what? These politicians nowadays in Jamaica, they don't talk to the people, The only time you see them really have town hall and come out on these platforms is when they want something from the people, which means that they maybe want a particular policy or law to be passed, or they want to call out something, or they might campaign for something. This need to become the norm. Let the people hear you. Let the people see you. You understand, guys? So leave on the comments, guys, and make sure you're keeping it locked here. Jamaica Politics Uncovered, where you get all your political news, reviews, and updates. See you in the next video.